Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today we actually have two of my mates and we've managed to connect with them despite the fact that they've been very, very busy trying to make their businesses work. I've got Tony Lim, a friend of mine who's in retail, and also Jerry Chun, also in retail. Welcome, Tony. Welcome, Jerry. How are you?
Good.
Hello, hi. Good, but not good. Good.
Good, not good. Jerry, Jerry and Tony, maybe I can start with one of you first. Can I just have a little background about what you do and what sector in retail you're in? Who do you cater towards?
I'm in F&B. We run about 50 restaurants around the country. More 100% all in shopping malls.
Well done.
Yeah.
So I work with this conglomerate, and we have 300 over store in Asia Pacific. Our target market mainly is M40 and the T20 customer. So it's the affluent customer.
Wow. So gentlemen, maybe I can start the questions rolling. Can I just ask you, in terms of what's happening right now, how has it impacted your business? Can we start with you first, Tony?
Okay. How does it impact? Because this comes as a surprise. Most of the malls has actually closed to non-essential as per se. But when they list supermarket as essential, food sector as essential, we can only operate about 10% of our stores as of now. Why? It's because sometimes when you are on different floors that is different from where the supermarket are, they completely shut the whole floor. So we won't be able to operate at all. So we only have about 10% of our stores remain open for now. And that is only also for delivery services. Yeah.
I mean, significantly impacted.
95% down in terms of revenue, yes.
Oh. Jerry, what about yourself?
So compared to Tony, ours is 100% closed because we are listed as a non-essential service, so nothing is open. So it's considered zero inflow. That's very bad. Yeah.
Wow. Gentlemen, maybe then I can delve into the fact that because of this impact, and I do not know how long MCO will be. If this prolongs, gentlemen, how would it impact your business? Say if it takes this up maybe another month or another 2 months, how do you see this impacting your business? Jerry?
If the MCO prolong, then you see, obviously, financial will be very challenging. But from what we study on, because we are looking at the affluence, from what we look at how China is reacting, there might be a revenge spending after people staying out so long and have a V-shape, then coming to be normalized again. But the recovery route, I think, will be long because if their MCO, let's say, is N14 as what we expect, as what government anticipated, what you can see is that it's going to Ramadan, Hari Raya, so people bound to be spent a bit. But after that, as you know, nobody know where economy is heading to. A lot of negative sentiment from the World Bank, from anyone looking at their potential recession. So people will be more stringent on their money. So you see, a spike, then normalize on a downward trend. That's what I see.
If it's a month, I think we still have chance to quickly get back to business. And having said that, we are expecting the next 3 months after the MCO. Definitely Ramadan is there, right? Like Jerry just mentioned. So even if the next round, whether Ramadan is there or not, we feel people will be quite cautious going to public places. And I think even the MCO can be lifted. I think there should be still certain controls or certain feelings about general public of getting out of their homes. Especially if you can buy things online, I think people get used to it a bit, to cut things down a bit, travel a bit. Especially restaurant in a shopping mall, then even the MCO is lifted, we definitely still need a lot of bolstering. We still need a lot of other ways that we can pivot, maybe focus entirely going online or deliveries and whatnot. If it's 1 month, I think it's enough of work to really get back up. If this were to be prolonged to 2 months or 1.5 months, things is only going to get tougher and tougher. and it needs a lot more parties to work together to get out of this together. Yeah.
I understand. I empathize with both gentlemen. Can I ask, with regard to if this just finishes at where the government says by the end of this month, April 14th, so to speak, and no extension or extension just for one more cycle of 2 more weeks, what would be the process of what you were trying to do to get back onto your feet again? Because for both parties, both of you, Jerry and Tony, you also need your supply chains to kickstart again. You need to have that to come back on. So even if they say, okay, all lifted, tomorrow start business, you still can't turn on the engine and say run. So what is the lag time required, particularly for your business, Jerry and Tony?
We actually, among the office, we are already starting we're taking 14 as a day, and we start to plan how to restart again. And from our suppliers, especially perishable suppliers, even the chicken suppliers, has been telling us they probably will need a week in advance notice how much we need. And to us, I think even we restart, the volume may not be very huge, but I think it would take easily 2 weeks to normalize the supply chain and logistics and whatnot. Some warehouses are closed. Some imported stuff from Thailand are completely not coming in. Those expired is gone. So at least 2 weeks for us to go back to normal time. Yeah. So yeah, we while having 14 days to plan to restart, it's actually quite a limited number of days. But still, I think you have many more parties to work together. So 2 weeks is what we see to normalize again. Yeah.
Jerry, do you see your supply chain needing more time to actually catch back up, or is yours faster?
To be fair, for us, because we have forward planning, because all the inventory have been ordered. The only challenges we would have is the congestion in the port, the import, which until now we don't know how congested but what we hear from my friend in logistics, it has been very congested. So if that is the case, currently, I mean, because you're closed down for almost 30 days, those stock were in the port release out, we still have something to sell. It's not as bad, but you wouldn't have new season coming in on time. That's our issue. You probably, like what Tony said, we have to make it a two-way. For us, we have to make it during the Ramadan month so that people get into the mood of buying. But that is big for us.
Jerry, because you mainly your clientele base is mainly the M40 and the T20, how big is the Ramadan season for you in terms of the numbers?
The Ramadan season, the first 2 weeks normally is not so big, but the last 2 weeks will be very big. Put it this way, there's always seasonal. The festive season normally will spike at least 20-25%. I mean, Christmas biggest, obviously, but Ramadan it's become unlike 7-8 years ago. Now Ramadan has become bigger and bigger. People will spend and kind of the M40 and T20 they like to reward themselves more.
Then can I ask you, based on this, and if for instance this period, touch wood, if for instance this period continues, what steps and procedures are you undertaking to try and mitigate that, to try and say catch back the sales?
I mean, the one thing is that we need to do online at home, online delivery using multiple platform to look into that. I mean, there's no two ways about it. I mean, there's a way, and I do ask this question. Until now, I couldn't have an answer. Why Lazada selling grocery, I understand, selling other products can still operate? So, if that is the case, then everyone should jump on it and do home delivery if that is the case. But I don't think I think now everybody jump into that bandwagon and say, just get it started and get going.
So digitisation is another frontier of your business that you're looking at, I guess.
Yeah, have to in this part of time.
Yeah. Tony, what about you, Tony? Are you looking at a new business model moving forward?
Digitization or not, I mean, the food F&B as an industry itself has been It's been long time. So the conventional financial model of any given restaurants will be, you buy ingredient, you sell for how much, you take out rental and salary. That's pretty much the margin that you make and whatnot. So as of late, you have Pandas and Grab coming to the market. Of course, they come in, they try to take some commissions off you. I think as of late few days, you see news of people saying like the commission charge is too high and whatnot. I think the industry itself is in a transition to see how to take in all these newer digitized online sales that we get. I think this is what we have been doing all the time. But I think right after this is where you really need to get on top of so-called online revenue stream to be a lot more serious to looking at it. As of today, as of even until before MCO, I can very much say most of the restaurants take the online sales as somewhat a supplement. So no F&B model is built really just to go entirely online or focus significant of their sales online. Yeah. So after this, it will become something that we really have to study very hard and see what else can we do online. Online will definitely become significant. Yeah.
Excellent. Gentlemen, I just wanted to touch now on the cost of production for yourselves or cost of sales for yourself, specifically about rental rates. Can I ask for the locations that you run, Tony, how much is the rental rate in comparison to your cost structure? And what percentage?
In normal days, normal time, we're looking at anything between 13 to 15% because a lot of them takes GTO also, as in whichever higher, you have base rent or whichever percentage of sales that you get. So I'm not sure whether Jerry can share this or not, but this is what we see from most of the F&Bs, and that's what we see in terms of percentage in the business. Yeah.
So now that business has been disrupted, gents, and walk-ins are not there, and business proper cannot happen. How do you see this rental rate in terms of the percentage moving? Is it still the same because it's a fixed cost, or now other costs because there's no other major costs happening, the percentage will increase?
For us, is that, rental is a fixed cost. Obviously, you have no sales, your percentage is starting. So what we do, we have a constant communication with various landlords to get help from them. I must say some of them is very helpful, and even some overseas landlords also very, very helpful. They know the predicament we are in. They are with us, and this is a time we see what is long-term partnership about.
Rental, when I said 12 to 15%, as in our normal days, is a percentage of according to the revenue. So if we take about our fixed cost itself, rental, let's say not fixed cost, cost of operating, our rental, salaries and utilities and whatnot, rental itself is 50% of our cost. If we take only the cost, half of the cost is rental anyway. But when you versus it to your total sales and whatnot, you get about 12 to 15%, against your revenue. So if sales were to come up, the fastest thing will climb in terms of percentage is our rental. Yeah, that's what I feel. I think as of now, what we expect to go forward if after the MCO, if the sales were to slow down, we foresee against the revenue, it may climb up to even 30-40%. Because the sales, honestly speaking, we really don't see the confidence of going back to shopping mall starts that early. Especially like Jerry mentioned, because we're going to restart just before Ramadan. And for us, Ramadan shopping malls, especially, only picks up towards the end of third week, maybe. The fourth week, that's where the footfall comes in. First, second is, they usually go to Ramadan Bazaar, but the Bazaar has been announced whether it's going to go on or not. But yeah, right after that will be very tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chance, can I ask you, in terms, in light of the fact that the cost of the rental is such a major component, double digits at the very least, what kind of support do you hope to achieve in order to lower your costs and give you guys a fighting chance to not say make profits, it's survive first and then build for the future? What would you say that if you had a magic wand, if you could help, get some help, what would that help be? Tony?
We have a very loosely formed alliance of about 800 restaurants now. We have been present to Minister of Finance himself personally on the Zoom call just 2-3 days ago. We were basically asking for landlords to really give rental relief post MCO. So what we asked is 50% rental relief post MCO. Why is the number 50%? Is that we feel even we pay 50% to landlords. If they were to have any sort of moratorium from the government, that payment itself should be even enough for them to cover whatsoever interest that is incurred to them. Plus, I think as tenants, whether we're in shopping malls and shop lots, we at least must have 3 months deposit with them, and we are not asking for waiver. And the biggest help that we can get from this relief, like you said, is not about making profit, but enable us to unlock some cash flow, no matter how low the sales is, to sustain the local employee. Definitely don't want to let go, because local employment, one is definitely they are Malaysian. Second thing is we spend so much of our time and effort to train them in a certain skill. Although it's not a skill set they can apply anywhere else, especially when they lose their job. It's not that they can find another job somewhere else because they used to be chef and cook and floor staff service. So those are things that we're trying to protect. And this, 50% for 6 months to go, or if we were to recover any faster, they can take that off. I think those are the things that we've been shouting, everywhere, hoping the landlords, to help in that sense. Yeah.
I think on top of that, I guess I will look at what government also can help the commercial property owner, so that they can pass more benefit back to the retailer like us. Just like Australia, if I'm not wrong, they haven't come out with a true guideline. They already announced some relief to the property owner, how they're gonna deal with it. If anyone got time, should look at some sort of guideline for what Australia have announced is very helpful. Australia government had announced they're paying the staff 3,000 for every full-time employee. That's the first one. Also on the commercial owner. So all in all, they're helping the whole ecosystem, in the sense that they're looking at employment as what Connie rightly point out. Employment is the key. That's what Australian government have done. So a part of now we are helping, private sector helping each other. I still think that government have to step up a bit of effort to help us, because it's not enough.
I think back to this point quickly, is that when we tenants talk to landlords, it's about relief, about money form to come down or up in terms of just financial implications. But when we talk to Ministry of Finance or government, is our own intention is very much about to retain employment. So I think the message haven't really get across from all parties, because when we ask for relief or waiver or whatnot, is direct implication in terms of finance to the landlord. But the real purpose is not about us don't want to pay you less because we can make more money or the business can survive or not. But there's so many more downstream that a lot of things has to be taken care of.
Because the ecosystem is very, very big. It's not just the business itself, but the people within the business and the suppliers that supply the business. But Jerry,
Correct.
Before we started this meeting, you actually said something that was very interesting, because a lot of places where both of you operate from are actually part of a REIT. And the REIT actually has essentially guaranteed or they have to actually get a kind of rental to pay back the REIT owners. Do you see that there's going to be a leeway because of these REITs?
These are difficult questions. You see, if you are investor, you say I will go back to the REIT and say you are guaranteeing me I invest so much. But again, I think this is a difficult time. The investor, the REIT holder need to see the whole picture. It's an ecosystem. If one down, and equally there's a chain reaction that will be continuously. Look at US. Don't go so far. Look at US. How many malls is going bankrupt? Just that's before COVID, because the mall is not helping. I mean, the worst case is we don't want to be like Hong Kong. As you know, how that is a Hong Kong commercial property developer. It's all run by few big players. So they make all the big bucks and they squeeze 90% people. We need to rethink about what's important to not only for themselves but for the whole ecosystem.
Tony, if you actually had the opportunity to revisit your business from day one, so before you started business, if you had prior knowledge of what would happen today, what would you do different? And if you could actually, with that magic wand you were telling me just now, that if you could have it, what would you integrate within the wish list to your business in making your business 2.0 more resilient moving forward? What would it be, Tony?
Of course, this will be very ideal. As a restaurant, we started doing this about 6 years ago. So as a restaurant, I personally never believed that my idea is about people still need to eat. They can't eat online. They cannot buy things like buy things online. They still need to eat physically by themselves. And I don't think people like food to be tapao. But nowadays, as time goes by, especially with this incident coming in, I think if we were to be able to reverse, or if not going forward, is really to have at least half of our effort putting in so-called the online channel of generating revenue, which also means we actually don't need such a prime location or storefront. We're probably looking at much cheaper area to operate from. As long as the delivery is enabled, we probably will find out that avenue as well. Yeah.
Great.
I think it's very similar. When in Asia Pac, we always think that who will go to online to spend $1,000 for luxury items. Where people want to feel and touch and things like that. The one thing with this thing, the one thing I must say, we should integrate. We have digitisation. We have online sales within the group, but it should be a bit more wider reach. That if I have a major one, that is what we think, because we always think that people are not willing to spend a huge amount of money online because they don't see it, don't feel it, cannot touch and things like that. But it doesn't. Seems like we have changed a bit of buying behavior.
Thank you, gents. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your deep insights and thoughts, particularly with listeners today, on all the challenges that are being faced by retailers in Malaysia and also in the regional area and space. So it just also goes to show that it's part of an ecosystem. From what I gather from you, the conclusion is that you guys are actually operating within an ecosystem. It's not just you against everybody else, but if you guys were not there, the entire chain, as Tony mentioned, the downstream is going to be tremendously affected, and the knock-on effect for the Malaysian economy is going to be quite bad if there's no help on the upstream side. And with that, I think I wish both of you the very, very best. I hope that this MCO period shortens, and as Jerry said, the V shape happens instead of a U shape. And I like what you said, Jerry, revenge spending, and I really hope revenge spending can happen.
That's what China show us when first open. They call it this. They are the one who term it's called revenge spending, because they are even worse than us. They're closed, or they are full lockdown for 40 days.
40 days, yeah.
And so that's why they are really called revenge.
And ladies and gentlemen, the last piece of advice, and I'm pretty sure my two friends will say yes to, is this: if you have a chance to spend after MCO period, spend it at your local retailers, because these are the people that help the economy work and keep people in their jobs. Thank you both for spending the time with me today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernest.
Bye.
Thank you.